2024 is almost over and 2025 is right around the corner. As of my recording of this video, it is September and we've got only October, November, December, 3 months left of 2024, and then it's going to be the new year. Of course, you don't need to be a new year to glow up or level up or do anything you want, but even so, it does help a little bit mentally and psychologically to have that sort of reset idea and mindset. However, we still also want to improve all year round, but doesn't hurt to have a little extra motivation, now does it? Hi Pearlies, and welcome to the Pearl Perspective. I'm Queenie Lizi Pearl, and I'm a naturally powerful master manifestor of all the best. And I want to help you manifest your best lives that you desire, dream of, and deserve. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell if you want to glow up and level up right now, and maybe share with a friend for good luck. Today's question of the day, is what are the 3 things you want to accomplish by the end of 2024? Because we still have 3 months left, that means that is plenty of time to start something new. Today's video is all about how we are going to change our lives, recreate ourselves by 2025. These are going to be 11 steps that you can follow to really improve yourself by the end of the year, so you have a clean and great canvas to work on for 2025, so you can continue to exponentially progress and do better. The first thing that we want to do is find out our purpose, our why, for why we want to improve, why we want to progress. And this is different for everybody. You could have multiple reasons, you could have just one. For me, my goal that I'm trying to currently focus on, I have 2 that are my big ones that I'm trying to manifest, are growing my content creation platform and becoming a content creator so that I can help other people manifest their best lives, so I can get to a place in my life where I am financially free and I can help my family live the lives that I think they deserve, and so I can help people in need and pay it forward. These are things that I want to do all the time, but I think that now I'm at a place where I can really pursue it. The second goal that I have is to lose weight, because I do have PCOS, which I sometimes call PCOS, and for my health, I do need to get to a certain weight to help avoid developing more symptoms. So we are manifesting, we are working on our habits, and we are working on these goals and systems. For you, it might be earning more money, learning a skill to earn more money so that you can help your family. It could be wanting to get into your dream career so that you have more time for yourself and for the ones you love. It could be doing something fun that you have never done before. There are plenty of goals that we could create for the end of 2024 and plenty of reasons why we want to get to them. The key is to find out what is your why and then using that to motivate yourself to actually achieving this recreation. Because we could also want to recreate ourselves just to have more confidence. We could want to recreate ourselves to earn more money so we can have more luxury and more fun. Those things are valid too. You could do it for yourself, for others, or for both. I'm doing it for both, and you can too. Now, we want to sort of identify the difference between motivation and discipline for this, because with your why, you should have it as a foundation to motivate yourself and to continue to discipline yourself. Motivation is the inherent feeling of wanting to pursue what it is you are pursuing and having the energy and the mindset to go after it. Discipline is when you might not have that energy or you might not have that desire to do what it is, but you do it anyway. Our goal is to develop both motivation and discipline so that we can be able to naturally just go after what we want, but at the same time, if we aren't feeling like it, we can still do it anyway. And our why is a step in that process. It allows us to have a foundation that will really amplify our motivation and teach us discipline if we keep following our why and we work to the end. Because there is a specific end goal that we are trying to get to here. But at the same time, the end goal is not permanent because we want to continue to improve, continue to progress throughout life. For now, though, we have a particular vision, a particular image in our minds of who we want to be and what we want to be and what we want to do by the end of 2024. And these things are going to help us get there. By the way, be sure to check out my blog, opearlperspective.com. That's opearlperspective.com for some glow up and level up freebies, one-on-one coaching, and some more great content. The second step is another foundational step. We want to keep learning. There are two things that we want to focus on learning here. The first is we want to find out as much as we can, do as much research and study as much as we can about whatever thing we are trying to pursue. For example, if you're trying to get into investing, you want to learn as much as you can about investing, mutual funds, and things of that nature. You want to read as many books as you were able. You want to watch as many videos as you were able. You want to read as many blog posts as you were able. You just want to saturate your mind with the knowledge that you need to pursue what it is you want to do. The second thing we've had to learn, or we should want to learn, is a new skill that can help us pursue our goals. Now, let's say you want to get into business. There are some skills that are very important when it comes to business. Some of that may be the ability to communicate with others, be conversationalist, and learn how to be a people person. That is, in and of itself, a skill. We want to learn as much as we can about what it is we're doing, and as much as we can about a new skill that we're going to practice so that we can implement our knowledge and hone our skill to then make that goal easier to accomplish. And that's going to be part of recreating ourselves. When you want to recreate yourself, you want to have the knowledge of your dream self as well as the skills that your dream self has. So take time to write down on a piece of paper maybe what are 3 things you can learn about your goals and what are 3 skills you can learn to achieve that goal that your dream self would have. It might help first to really come up with a picture of what your dream self looks like, and to come up with those goals that would help you become that dream self. For example, let's say your dream self is an entrepreneur, someone who is a boss babe, and someone who is able to work on their own time. Some goals we want to maybe have for our dream self are to create income that is maybe passive, for example. Perhaps create a following so that we can continue to bring awareness to our brand. And maybe find out things that we can sell. Let's say if you're in baking, find out what kinds of things you want to bake. Now, the 3 things we would want to learn about that for the baker entrepreneur, let's say, we would want to learn how to bake the best things that we can, really keep practicing that. That's going to be part of our skill too. We want to learn about all the things that go into making the best sweets we can, or bread if you like bread. We want to learn how to build a platform for ourselves and to grow a following so that we can advertise our business. And we want to learn how to sustain our business, what kinds of things we can do to keep it running smoothly on its own. Let's say if we have to take a break or something of that nature. With baking, it might be a little bit more difficult, but it might be learning how to build a team, for example. For the skills, we would want to learn how to practice the actual creation of baking our goods. We want to practice building our social media in a way that is aligning with popular social media content creators that are already out there, like how to do SEO. SEO, search engine optimization, is in and of itself a skill. And we would want to learn how to be good leaders. We would want to practice being both diplomatic and charismatic, and find out what leadership style is best for us. These are things that we can implement and we can learn and practice in order to achieve our goals related to being an entrepreneur so that we can become that entrepreneur. And lifelong learning in general is a really important thing to practice. I love learning new things. I recommend, if you don't have the money to spare to buy a subscription to a learning system or company, you can watch videos on YouTube. You could read blog posts. These things are free. And it's important to do research as much as we can with what we have available. If you do have money to spare, I recommend starting with buying some books at your local bookstore so you can learn what kinds of things you need to really work on, and you can gain that knowledge that you need. And if you have more money to spare, or you've saved up money, you can invest in something like Skillshare or Masterclass. I personally am subscribed to both, and I find that they are very helpful platforms for learning new skills and learning from the best. So consider those. This is not sponsored, but I do personally really enjoy those. Number 3, we want to keep track of our goals and continue to review them. This can be as simple as reviewing your vision board or your affirmations or your list of things that you want to accomplish. I recommend also planning out a certain timeline for yourself of what things you want to get done by when, and that way you'll have a way to keep track of what you're doing that is more comprehensive. We want to have a frame of reference, and so number 3 is also going to go into number 4. But first, let's focus on this one. Keeping track of your goals and reviewing them is necessary to make sure that we are on the right track. We want to also use this as a way to manifest what we desire as well as to motivate ourselves and to inspire the practice of discipline. You can follow up on your goals at the end of every day, at the end of every week, or at the end of every month. But I recommend doing it either at the end of every day or every week. I personally check my vision board every single day when I wake up in the morning and when I go to sleep at night. You can do this as well if you have a vision board, and I recommend making one. I will at some point have a video on how to make a vision board because I think it's a lot of fun and it could be very helpful. Now, what else you can do to review your goals is in that planning system that I have suggested. You can have certain minor goals, like sub-goals, let's say, that you want to accomplish of certain habits that you want to do, and see if you've done them every single day. Things that can bring you closer to your goals. Micro habits, which we will cover later on in this video as well. And you want to make sure that you do them every day. So, keeping track of your goals, other things you can consider are in a planner, just checking off tasks that lead you closer to that goal. You might also want to fully review your goal and system plan overall to see if you are implementing the techniques, the tasks, the habits that you need to do in order to reach your goal. Because achieving our dream self, recreating ourselves, requires having an idea in mind of who that person is, what that person does, and how that person lives their life. Having goals and habits and systems really can help us get there. And we want to be that person, whether it's by the end of 2024 and the beginning of 2025, or if we have other visions that we want to get to, maybe, let's say 3 years from now, 5 years from now, maybe even a year from now. The important thing is staying on track and keeping track of our goals and how we are progressing towards them, and reviewing them as much as we can so we can see where we started, where we are now, and where we want to go. This leads us into step number 4, which is reflecting. We want to reflect on our progress to make sure that we are slowly continuing to make our way towards that person that we want to be. And reflecting on our progress can look like journaling at night to figure out how we are feeling about what we're doing, and to brainstorm and problem solve things that might have come up in your journey towards recreating yourself. I recommend looking up prompts online for reflection. This can be something that allows you to see what other ideas you might want to bring to life, what other things you might want to include in your journey. Reflection is important in addition to reviewing our goals, because when we reflect on our progress, we are able to come up with new ideas that we might not have had in the beginning. And these ideas can help us push forward towards our vision much faster. I personally like to reflect by talking to my significant other about what I'm doing. I feel like talking about it really helps me get out of my own head, and that is something that you can do as well. I think that reflection can come in different forms. What matters is finding what works best for you. And there are so many different techniques you can look up online for reflection. Again, journaling is just one of them. So is talking to somebody about them. So is when you are reviewing your goals, looking at the place you are now and trying to figure out how you can practice your new habits, your new skills better. Because when we are able to come up with new plans and new ideas for achieving what we want, either in a faster way or a better way, we are able to inspire even more of that brainstorming and problem solving. And reviewing your goals along with reflecting on your progress at the same time can really help that. Although, of course, you don't have to do them at the same time. I suggest it because, like I mentioned, it can help you really push forward on what you want to do. I think that reflecting every night is really the best way to do it as well, but at least once a week. Same thing with reviewing your goals. You could also do it once a month, but because we are on a time crunch here, I do not recommend that. I think once a week, preferably once a day, is the best bet for you and for me. Step number 5 is practicing micro habits as well as deep work, and practicing the art of showing up. Micro habits are tiny little habits that we can do each and every day, even within an hour, even within 15 minutes, so that we can get towards our goal much faster. Tam Core, one of the YouTubers that I love watching on here, is a proponent of micro habits. The way that she does it is when she is time blocking, she figures out 15 minutes between each task where she can do something that moves her towards a new goal or a new project that she has. Micro habits for health, for example, might look like drinking water every hour, having an alarm for drinking water at one point in an hour. Or it might look like walking for 15 minutes whenever you eat a meal. Micro habits are meant to be simple and easy because we want to practice the art of showing up. In one of May Alice Suzuki's videos, she mentioned how James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, talked about putting on your running shoes as winning half the battle towards achieving your goal of being healthier and running more. This is because when we move towards something that we are trying to achieve, even in a small way, our brains are automatically inspired and motivated to continue and follow it all the way through. This can also look like putting on your gym clothes in the morning if you want to build a habit of going to the gym. In James Clear's masterclass that I watched, he also talks about how going to the gym for 5 minutes a day just to get into the habit of going to the gym is a major step in becoming an actual, constant, consistent gym goer. We can implement micro habits throughout our days, even for just 5 minutes a day. They are important to achieving our goals. But we also want to practice deep work at least once a week, maybe twice if we're able to, or more if we have the time to. Deep work is getting into the flow state. It is setting time aside to really focus on your work and what you're doing, and to really get into the state of flow, which is when you are so hyper-focused on what you're doing that you can't stop and you can't focus on anything else, and you are just so honed in and so engrossed in what you're doing that you make major waves with it. Now, deep work can be as little as an hour a week to as much as 40 hours a week if we're able to. But it's recommended to at least have 3 hours of deep work once a week, because this can really help us to make a lot of progress towards achieving what we want to achieve. Remember, we are recreating ourselves, and in order to recreate ourselves, we have to work towards the kinds of things that our future self would be doing, that our dream self would be doing, who that person is, what that person does, how they do it. And deep work is a great way to really bridge the gap between our current self and our dream self. Getting into the flow state is also a form of meditation, so it's really good for our minds as well. And it can be really fun if you enjoy what you're doing and you're passionate about what you're doing. For example, when I'm working on my blog or writing books or filming YouTube videos, I am doing deep work and I am in the flow state and I am loving it. I hope you can find something that makes you feel that same way as well, and that whatever it is your dream self does is as fun, as motivating, and as full of passion as you deserve. Practicing micro habits and practicing deep work are part of adapting and adopting a healthy lifestyle. We want to be healthier overall in order to be our dream selves. This can look like different things for us because mental health and physical health, as well as emotional health, are all things to consider. Overall, we want to be holistically healthy, healthy in every way we can be. And it is a balancing act, but it is also possible. When it comes to mental health, we might have mental health issues that we're dealing with, but it doesn't mean that it's impossible to work with them. How health looks like for having mental illnesses is doing the things that you can to cope with them. For example, I do personally have a plethora of mental disorders that I'm diagnosed with and that I experience and have to deal with the symptoms of every day. But I take medication for it. I'm going to be seeking therapy again soon. And I practice dialectical behavioral therapy as well as cognitive behavioral therapy and other coping mechanisms in order to show up as my best self, both for myself and for others. We have to do what we can, but we have to do what we can, which means that we can only really do as much as we are able, but whatever that is, we should be doing it, because that's what progress and improvement look like. It might not be having the best things, but it's working with what we do have. That's the same for physical health. Like I mentioned, I have PCOS. How health looks like for me with that is I'm working on eating better for myself, as well as doing low intensity workouts instead of high intensity workouts, which is better for what I am diagnosed with. And for emotional health, this can tie into mental health. It's not allowing ourselves to bottle up our emotions, but also not allowing ourselves to avoid regulating them. We want to find a balance where we are able to validate ourselves and feel our emotions without letting them get in the way of ourselves or without letting them hurt other people. This can look like having a scheduled vent sesh once a week. It can look like journaling. It can look like taking what you are feeling and pushing it into a productive outlet. There are many different ways to cope with this, and I hope to make a video in the future about different things that you can do for that as well. But emotional health is just as important as mental and physical health. For physical health, we also want to remember to drink water. Actually, let's take a water break right now. Cheers! Bottoms up. Hydration. Overall, we want to try to figure out how to be our dream selves. What do they do, and how do they do it when it comes to health in particular? Do they wear athleisure so that they can go to the gym at a drop of a hat? Do they have a particular breakfast routine that they have? Maybe they like avocado toast with eggs. Do they drink water out of a cute water bottle every day so that they can remember to drink as much as possible? There are different things that they might do to be healthier that we can implement for ourselves so that we can be them. Remember, we are trying to live healthy lives for recreating ourselves, right? When you recreate yourself, you want to be a better version of yourself. And that involves holistic improvement, including taking care of your body. And when we are healthier, we are able to also work towards our goals much better. So for a healthier you in 2024, 2025, and forever, we want to figure out how to eat better, how to drink water better, and how to work out better. It might be low intensity, like for me, it might be high intensity for some of you, but what matters is finding out what works best for us and for our bodies, our minds, and our hearts. Speaking of the dream self, we might want to consider creating an alter ego. Alter egos are not the same as split personalities, and they are not the same as being fake. What an alter ego is taking who you are and who you want to be and becoming that person that you want to be as you are now. Now that might sound a little bit confusing, but think of it this way. When we talk to different people in our lives, we behave in different ways. We can consider that personas. Let's say we wouldn't say what we talk about to our friends, to our bosses, and we wouldn't talk to our parents the way we talk to our friends either. But to our friends, we might have a very particular way of hanging out. Then there are different levels of friendship. Some of our friends may see us as more introverted, and others might see us as more extroverted. When we engage in different situations and engage in different social interactions, we are coming up with different personas that fit and adapt to that situation and that interaction much better. This is what being an alter ego is, but with much more intention, because we are already doing this naturally and subconsciously. It is normal to change who you are around different people and in different situations. For example, code switching is a cultural phenomenon that is really important to a lot of people. And practicing certain manners is important in different social avenues. When we come up with alter egos, we are practicing these things where we are taking the embodiment of certain behaviors and practices and gestures and ways of being and little habits and taking them upon ourselves. You want to find out what your alter ego is like. For me, for example, my alter ego is just an amplified version of who I am, as well as what I imagine my dream self to be. This could be the same for you. A lot of celebrities have alter egos when they are trying to cope with dealing with a lot of eyes on them. Beyonce has Sasha Fierce, and there are so many different other alter egos that celebrities have. Lady Gaga has an alter ego, and Marilyn Monroe is the alter ego of Norma Jean. So we can come up with our own alter ego in order to embody the traits of our dream selves right now. And your alter ego can either have your name a version of your name or a chosen name for you. My alter ego's name is Queenie Lizi Pearl because Queenie, Lizzie, and Pearl are all nicknames I have in my real life. And I just put them together because individually they make me feel like who I am. So together they make me feel like who I want to be even more. I suggest taking time to really map out what your dream self is like and to create an alter ego based off of that. Like May Alice Suzuki says, we also want to create a universe of ourselves, kind of like the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or the Taylor Swift Cinematic Universe. We want to create a world, a universe, where there are different versions of us for different things that really help us to be who we want to be, and how we want to be, and what we want to be. You can have different alter egos for different things, or one alter ego for everything. The universe of us is really just taking time to find out who we are in different situations and really working towards being better in as many situations as we can be. In May's video, she talked about how Apple started off with one thing, for example, and they expand to other things, and that they have the universe of Apple products. That's similar to what we are doing. We are starting off with ourselves and branching off to different improved versions of ourselves. But it doesn't mean that we are ever less of who we were or who we are. It just means that we are more of who we are and that we are better versions of that person. But we are still ourselves. And that's what an alter ego is in this case. It's just taking the traits and practices and habits that we want to implement and really embodying them. It's important, but it's not necessary. I really recommend it because it's a lot of fun at the end of the day as well and can help you feel like a powerful person. Both Cam Kaur and May Alice Suzuki have alter egos as well, and they really help them to be their dream selves. And I hope it helps you to be your dream self too. Along with this, though, is step 8. We want to reframe our mindsets and work on our self-concepts. Reframing our mindsets is really important. We want to, for example, think of an incident where we would have to do something. And instead of saying, oh, I have to do this, think, oh, I get to do this, and oh, I am the kind of person who does this. For example, let's say it comes to working out, right? Let's say we think initially, I have to work out. But we can reframe that mindset. Think, oh, I get to work out. I'm very lucky because I have the time to work out. And on top of that, think, I am the kind of person who works out because it makes me feel good. This is reframing your mindset and creating an identity that aligns with your goals. And we can do reframing in different ways as well. In cognitive behavior therapy, there is a practice that you do where you take your limiting beliefs or your cognitive distortions on one side of the page, and you take what you want to reframe them to on the other side of the page. And they can be affirmations or just reframing of the original concept. And you can practice that as well when it comes to reframing your mindset or manifesting. We also want to work on self-concept. Self-concept is how we view ourselves. It is our self-esteem, our self-worth, our self-value, and the image of ourselves that we have. This goes along with creating an alter ego and having our dream selves. When we work on our self-concept, we want to remember that we are the person that we want to be, and that we can become even more of the person that we want to be. That we are worthy and valuable and beautiful. We want to think about the things that we're good at, the things that other people think that are good about us, and how we can improve and be even better. Self-concept is important in creating a foundation of confidence, and confidence is important for success. it's something that is achievable for everybody. So I believe in you, and I know that you can become more self-confident. You can have a higher self-esteem if you work on yourself, and you work, as importantly, on your self-concept. We can do this by envisioning who we want to be as our current selves, like with the alter ego, and we can also do this through affirmations, as well as guided meditations or guided visualizations. The important thing is to remember that we are worth so much, and to remind ourselves of that every day. You can do that by looking in the mirror every morning and looking at all of the things that make you you and saying, "You are beautiful." And saying that every single day until you mean it, because you should mean it, because you are beautiful. Or you could do other mirror work affirmations like, "You are successful," or look at yourself in the mirror and say it in "I am" too. You could say, "I am beautiful, I am successful." Or you could combine both. "You are beautiful, I am beautiful. You are successful, I am successful." What's important is really getting your mind to reframe your insecurities into positive things. Another thing you can do is, if you have something you're insecure about, you can reframe it into a better thing. For example, let's say you're insecure about being too talkative. Instead, you can say, "Wow, I'm super eloquent and charismatic. I'm totally a people person, and that works great for me because it is something I want to practice in my entrepreneurial endeavors." It's really easy to take a moment and reframe things. Emotionally, it might be difficult, but logically, it's something that we are able to practice and should be able to practice. And I know that if you take the time to work on reframing your mindset and working on your self-concept, you'll be able to achieve those things. Step 9 is romanticizing your life and just having fun. We want to romanticize our lives because they are beautiful and they're full of just incredible little moments that are magical and wonderful and special. When you romanticize your life, it doesn't mean that you are trying to make it as perfect as possible or that you are trying to avoid mistakes, because we can make mistakes beautiful too. For example, I spilled a little bit of soy sauce on my manifestation letter, one that was inspired by Life by Lucy. And instead of being upset that I spilled some soy sauce on it, I made a cute little drawing on it. Romanticizing your life means taking the aspects of your life that already exist and reframing your view on them so they are more magical to you, more special to you. This is shifting your perspective and your perception to look at things from a childlike wonder, a childlike love of everything around you. Romanticizing your life can also look like practicing certain things to have more fun in life. It can be putting on your favorite music in the morning when you are doing your glam. It can be journaling in a park and listening to the birds sing. It can be taking a walk with your significant other and holding hands. It can be doing your hot girl walk with confidence boosting music in your ears. There's so many different ways to romanticize your life. You can take a bubble bath with candles. You could read a book. It's really just taking time to both appreciate what already exists more, as well as taking time to create a more beautiful and fun experience for yourself. And it can be simple. Like I mentioned, you can just add something extra special to your daily habits, and that's romanticizing your life. You can even make YouTube videos and vlogs if that helps you make things more romantic. I recommend listening to Emma Chamberlain's podcast episode on romanticizing your life, because she talks about how it doesn't have to be perfect either. And I also recommend watching some more videos on YouTube on how to romanticize your life, because our lives really deserve to be romanticized. They're beautiful and magical and special. Along with that, we want to have fun with this process of becoming more of who we want to be. Because when we recreate ourselves, we sometimes put a lot of attachment into making everything perfect, and we sometimes get really stressed out about it. But would your ideal self be stressed out? I don't think so. You can be busy and not stressed out at the same time. And that's something you should aspire to for yourself. So have fun with this journey. Have fun with this process of recreating yourself by romanticizing your life and by doing fun things along with the hard work that you know you should be doing. You can combine them. Like when I'm writing my book that I'm currently working on right now, I listen to music or I listen to a video that isn't too distracting. That's fun for me, and I'm still working deeply on what it is I have to accomplish. And you could do the same as well. It's a lot of fun when you're able to really get used to doing the things that you need to do with things that you love to do. Step 10 is also really fun. It's manifesting and imagining and embodying. This means we're going to really become that person that we are trying to recreate ourselves into. We're just going to do it. We are that person right now. By manifesting, we're going to either practice techniques or just imagine ourselves as that person by speaking as if, acting as if, thinking as if, and feeling as if. We can also practice this with other people. Someone who you can trust to really support you manifestation can be someone that you can talk to as if whatever it is you want, whoever it is you want to be, is already the current reality. Because remember, whatever we have in our 4D, our minds and our hearts, is going to be whatever we experience in our 3D, our reality. With manifesting, there are different things you can do. I suggest vision boards, scripting, affirmations, and SATs, which is state akin to sleep. I'm practicing all those things at the moment. I am manifesting 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. And so I have on my vision board some things that remind me of that goal. I look at it every morning and every night before I go to sleep. I am scripting by writing scenarios that I really want to happen in my life down on paper. I'm affirming both robotically and intentionally by repeating that I have what I already want in my mind, and I even write down these affirmations, so combining scripting and affirmations. With imagining, we want to really be creative with our desires and imagine that we already have them now. We are playing pretend, similar to how kids pretend to be ballerinas or astronauts. We are pretending to be whatever it is we want, whoever it is we want to be, however we want to be them right now. So we are showing up as that person. How would they look when they do their makeup? What would they dress like? How would they act in a room full of people? We are pretending to be that person. We are make-believing that we are that person so that we can believe that we are that person. We're imagining, playing pretend, acting as if, faking till we make it, faking it till we make it, and make-believing. All of those things are the same thing, and we are doing that right now. That is also embodying. So with our alter ego, for example, we are embodying the traits of our dream self. We are already that person. And so how we show up as a person. Let's practice it now. It's really a lot of fun when you practice it because it's like a big game. It's like when we were kids and we would play pretend and just let our imaginations run wild. That's what we want to do right now with what we want to be and who we want to be. And again, how we want to be them. I also recommend visualizing and affirming every single day. For visualizations, you want to close your eyes, get into a meditative state, and really imagine whatever it is that you want as yours now. You can make this as complicated or as simple as you want to be. If you're doing state akin to sleep, I recommend doing it in a simple way and just getting straight to the desire itself. If you are doing this in a more meditative way, I recommend making it as real as possible with as many senses as you can and making it complicated and comprehensive. For affirming, you want it to be simple. You want to just repeat what it is that you want as if you have it. And robotic affirming is doing this over and over and over again, regardless of feeling. Intentional affirming requires visualization and or feeling as if. Feeling it real, as Neville Goddard calls it. Feeling it real is imagining the senses and the feelings and the emotions involved in having what it is that you want right now. And all of this is really fun, so just get loose and wild with it and have fun. It's not really a crazy thing, but it is something that is exciting and energizing and really cool once you do it more often. Also, when you see all of the things that you want to experience come to life, come to fruition, become manifest in your life, just try something new, something small even, but something new. It allows us to remind ourselves and realize that, hey, we are really working towards this new person that we want to be. And it also allows us to find new opportunities and really take action on those new opportunities when we step out of our comfort zone a little bit. Before this video ends, I want to share some books that I recommend you to read. First, we have Atomic Habits by James Clear, which is all about how micro habits and being 1% better can help you in the long run. Then we have The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson and John David Mann. This book I'm personally not familiar with, but I know that it has a lot to do with similar concepts as Atomic Habits and doing what you can to become 1% better each and every day. Last but not least, we have The Alter Ego Effect by Todd Herman, which is exactly what it sounds like, learning how to really utilize that alter ego to achieve what you want to achieve. And I'm going to check those books out too. I have Atomic Habits. I just have to really read it. But I did check out James Clear's masterclass, and he knows what he's talking about. Now, we're going to do the affirmation of the day, which I would like you to comment down below if you've made it this far in the video. Here's the affirmation of the day. I am the person that I want to be. Everything that I desire shows up as my identity. Now, before you go, let me give you some DIY homework so that you can really put into practice the things that we learned in this video. First, I want you to come up with your why. Why are you doing what you are doing? Why do you want to be who you want to be? Then, I want you to come up with a comprehensive list or scripting paragraph or even page, if you are able to, about who your ideal self is, who your dream self is, what they're like, what they do, and how they are, as well as what your ideal life and dream life is, what it looks like, what you do in the morning, what you do for work, and holistically how you are healthy in that dream life. You want to be as clear as you can be with this. I also want you to write down your goals and systems, what you want to accomplish, and the habits and deep work you're going to practice to get there. And that's it. That's your homework. So do those things as well as romanticizing your life each and every day, and you're going to be sure to recreate yourself by the end of 2024 and the beginning of 2025. Also, working on your alter ego. Thank you so much for watching, and please like, subscribe, and ring the bell if you haven't already, as well as comment the affirmation of the day. I am the person that I want to be. everything that I desire shows up as my identity. Join me every Friday for more glow up and level up content. And remember, you are a powerful master manifestor, a naturally powerful master manifestor of all the best. And you are our next success story. See ya, Anya. Bye.